Okay, I just did a weird camera movement right as the video went live, so just ignore that and act like it didn't happen. But what is going on, everybody? I want to welcome you. Salutations, greetings, seasons. Okay, the season's over. Greetings from the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant classic. I'm excited. I'm very excited to talk some TNA wrestling. That was a little much. TNA wrestling. Okay, I'm excited to talk some TNA wrestling. All right. It's because of James Storm. James Storm is back, and it had to happen. Everything gonna be shared with that twang on it. Why are you telling me that I have a video going now? I know. I get it. Anyway, my phone is reminding me of things that I already knew was going on because I created this like 5 minutes ago. But anyway, as we continue, this is the second episode on Pop TV, which for some reason I don't have. I was happy. I was at home. I was like, yeah, I got Pop TV now. So I knew I was gonna come back here and I was gonna have Pop TV. Looked on the guide. I was like, oh really? Oh really? Oh really? Xfinity? Is that right? Is that okay? So now I have to kind of go back to my Destination America roots and try to watch it however I can. But anyway, we got a video package on what happened and what's set to come. That's kind of what TNA does. Also, we got a Boss It's Time type of a little doohickey thing. Thanks to, Big T, Sweet T. Whatever we're calling him, we got him, coming up there. Eloquent T, I guess. I don't know. And then we would get a EC3 promo. Jeff Hardy would come out. EC3 would show off his theme song singing skills. I don't know how to really say that. I feel like SpongeBob trying to say hash singing slasher, but theme song singing thing. He was showing the skills. I was cracking up during the segment too. I know Casey said he was cracking up, and which you guys don't know that yet, but Casey was telling me he was cracking up at this, and I was definitely. I was cracking up. I was kind of excited for the match that we ended up getting. We ended up getting a Shimron. I don't know why that's his name. Shimron, the Master of Motion, going up against Jeff Hardy after this segment. But any thoughts on any of those three things mentioned above? Or, well, you can't see that it's above. Mentioned before.
Yeah, they're up there. They're right up there. Let me look. Well, first off, I'm going to add one up there. Again, the opening theme song just... What? It doesn't catch me. It doesn't capture my interest in wrestling. It's just it's boring. It really is. It's just it doesn't. If I'm looking away, it's not going to catch my attention to say that hey, TNA's on. I'm just going to think it's some random other commercial, and I'm not even going to look. TNA, you need to fix that. You need to put a little bit of groove in there. Some something. I don't know. But it's just anyway. I wanted to add that in general, I felt like this show was better than their first show on Pop. In my opinion, I just thought it was a better show in general. But with the opening segment, I don't even know I don't even remember what all was funny about it, but I did think that this was hilarious. I found myself cracking up more than I usually do with opening segments. I mean, usually opening segments we think of Raw, obviously, and those are just boring as shit. But there's something about EC3. He's not one of my favorite wrestlers. I don't like him as much in ring. But on the mic, he's hilarious.
But why though?
Because
why though?
But he's not because he's not that
though.
He's not. But
he is TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
But I am the TNA World Tag Team Champion.
Do they have like trios champions? Because I saw the Wolves have the belts, and maybe it was pre-recorded. I get it. It was pre-recorded.
I won it. Yeah. I mean, you'll see. But it was a good opening segment. I liked the match. I didn't think I was gonna like it because I was like, oh, it's gonna be a jobber match, which I mean it was, but I feel like TNA does those matches better than say WWE does. WWE will just throw some no-name guy in there, not even give him a name, not give him a gimmick, nothing. Just give him a pair of wrestling tights and throw him out there. At least we kind of got to know this Shinron guy a little bit. We got to see a little bit of what he could do. It wasn't just a complete destruction match. I felt like he actually looked pretty good for what he was able to do in that short amount of time. It wasn't really a long match, but it was good. It was good, a good match to finally see Jeff back in the ring after his injury, which was cool. But, it kind of, this whole show kind of got me wondering what they're going to do with the future because, there's rumors the Hardys are leaving. And then, both of them are kind of getting in the title picture now. So there's a lot of different things they could do with this. And I'm just curious which way they're going to go.
Agreed. I liked Shinron. He had me rolling on the floor laughing. Just showboating. He was killing me. Just the slow motion like showboat thing he was doing was just so funny to me. I don't know what it was, but I hope they keep him around. I like him. I was thinking about it. I was like, I wish they would have let Shinron do a little more, kind of get a little bit more offense in. But, ever since we had that interview with the extra guys, I've been looking at, trying to go back to a little bit more of a fan instead of like this weird analyst thing that we try to do all the time. I try to go back in it as a fan and try to watch it as a story too. Like watch it as a story as an analyst, but kind of try to get into it as a fan. And, I was like, okay, so, he's got to start from the bottom, and Shinron's technically the bottom. He's a new guy. We haven't seen anything from him before. He didn't even have entrance music, So I get it from a story standpoint.
Well, he had entrance music. EC3 gave him entrance music, okay?
That is true. I think it was better than Blue Pants, honestly. I think the entrance music was better than Blue Pants.
I don't know about
that. There were words. There
are words and
It's not neither of those words. No. Alrighty, as we continue, we would get Awesome Kong talking. We would get Awesome Kong talking. I actually watched one of Rabbit Jones' videos recently talking about TNA, and he was talking about how they let Awesome Kong talk at One Night Only, which apparently was a really good show. I kind of want to go watch. But apparently they're talking One Night Only, so I think they're going to give her more of a speaking role now to kind of, enhance her character a little bit, especially now that she's kind of the leader of the Dollhouse. And, it was kind of interesting to hear her talk. And, like, I'm probably the complete opposite on this point that Casey is because, Casey. But anyway, I didn't feel like it was awkward at all. I felt like it felt very natural. We haven't heard her talk a lot, so I understand that it could seem like it would be awkward because it's kind of like when we first heard Kane talk, it was like, wait, what? So with her, we haven't heard her talk a lot, but I felt like it wasn't awkward. Like the inflection in her voice, it sounded really tough. It had a tough feel to it. It had an intimidating feel to it, which I think was really nice. This would end up being a brawl, which would end up being, I don't know why I said that like that, which would end up being a street fight by the Dollhouse. Between the Dollhouse and the Beautiful People. We would get a nice suplex on the ramp, which was pretty cool. Jade with that chair in the corner. Jade. I don't think she's ever tried to position or watched anyone try to position a chair in the corner, but that was bad. Jade. But Cannonball into the chair by Jade. Poor girl. She just couldn't win with that chair. Velvet Sky had some of the girliest chair shot kendo stick shots I have ever seen in my life. Um, Speaking of cringing, yes, I did. Rebel and Marty Bell were trying to take advantage of the numbers game because they can, but they got met with some kendo stick shots. Velvet Sky, oh god. And a nice package pile driver by Jade for the win on Madison Rain to give the Dollhouse the win. Not surprised. Any thoughts on this brawl that we got? A lot of these segments turned into matches. That's why it's kind of it's kind of hard to put the segments together and then be like, oh wait, there's a match. But any thoughts on the street fight that we had? That was kind of a cool little thing and an awesome calm, letting the people know.
I mean, I felt like it wasn't awkward per se, but I feel like anytime
but it was awkward.
No, right? Would you? Can I talk? Can I talk? No. I feel like anytime you first hear somebody actually do like a real promo, it's a little bit awkward just because it's their first time and it's something new. And anytime something's new, it's not necessarily awkward, but just you're not used to it. But I really liked it. I hope they give her more time talking because I feel like hearing her actually talk, it was intimidating, but it had a little bit of that kind of girly sort of the Dollhouse-esqueness to it, to where it was like a little bit girly, but it was still intimidating. And I feel like it sort of changed her character, or what my kind of preconceived notion of her character was, because before, I kind of took her personality as something completely different, and I don't even know exactly what I thought of her, but, just the fact that they build her from, Tokyo, Japan, she never really talked. I would have thought, she would have, her personality would have been completely different, but obviously they have to, conform it to the Dollhouse sort of a little bit. But I liked it. I hope they do give her the mic more. I'm curious what they're going to do if she is officially the leader of the Dollhouse now, or if Taryn's coming back. What's going on with that? As for the match, I liked it, actually. I actually felt like it made the beautiful people look better in the ring because it wasn't a traditional wrestling match. So we didn't have to see them do as many traditional wrestling moves that Velvet Sky can't do. Girl, I love you. I love you. You're on my wall. I love you, but you can't wrestle for shit. But I felt like this made them look a little bit, stronger in this match because, they could use weapons even though they still. Oh, Velvet, just you need to learn how to use a kendo stick. It's not that hard. It's really not. It's not. And she has the worst clotheslines I have ever seen in my life. They just, oh God, oh, how did you get through wrestling school? How? But anyway, we're moving on. I wrote a few notes besides the horribleness of. I am surprised that this wasn't a 4-on-2. I would have imagined they would have done a 4-on-2 just because they are down. The beautiful people are down a member, and there's nobody that really wants to kind of specifically team with the beautiful people because of their history. They were always heels and everything, and I mean, I guess they could have had Gail Kim as their partner, just the fact Gail Kim's history with Awesome Kong. But I thought that TNA would have booked it as a 4-on-2 to, make the Dollhouse, seem even stronger than they already are. But I do like how they booked this match. They didn't completely turn, the beautiful people into kind of jobbers. They had their moments where, they got their offense in and everything, even though they lost. I thought it was a good match. I hope they kind of keep this storyline going and, make them, work them in the ring a little bit more, teach them, set up a developmental like NXT where they can learn how to do the simple fucking clothesline. It's not hard. It's really not. It's so simple. It's just right. It's come on now. Come on. So anyway.
Apparently, I had heard this before. I'd heard this in a comment on someone else's video, and I just looked it up on Wikipedia about Taryn Terrell. She parted ways with the company on January 4th, 2006. 2006. Oh God, I sound like Ram. 2016.
Wow.
January 4th.
You left 10 years ago, and it.
It was an impersonator. It was an impersonator the whole time. That's what it was. It was an impersonator the whole time. She left in 2016, January 4th, 2016. Apparently, it was a personal decision. That's in quotes, and she felt that TNA wasn't the right fit. Quote, wasn't the right fit for her life going forward. Apparently, the guy who had commented on the video said she had like went back to God or something like that, or you know, kind of try to get her life straight in the religious aspect, and she didn't feel like because the Dollhouse is a, I guess, sort of a more so sexual thing, she didn't feel comfortable with it. I guess this would be similar to Shawn Michaels. It took him a little bit to come back to wrestling too after he, you know, kind of got his life right, as you could say. Any thoughts on that? I think it's unfortunate that there's no closure on it, and that we'll never know because they won't tell us. They're gonna keep it hush, like they didn't know she left. They're gonna be like, "Oh, Taryn Terrell left? Wait a minute, what?"
Yeah, I liked her in the Dollhouse, but you could sense that it wasn't the right fit. You know, she wasn't, you know, fully into the character. It just wasn't really her. You know, and it got a little bit better as time went on. You know, as they say, you know, the best wrestlers are the ones who can take a horrible gimmick or a gimmick that they're really not into and make it work. And I felt like she was making it work, but I mean, obviously, if it's not for her, if you know, if she's trying to get her life straight, or if she, you know, has found, you know, new religion or whatever, and she doesn't feel like that's the right thing for her, I mean, that's fine. You know, it sucks that we're not going to be able to see her again. But you know, whatever is best for her.
Alrighty. As we continue, I'm sure that was kind of some news, but to some people, because I didn't know, I just happened to come across a comment about it, and I was like, I wonder if this is true, just like 3 seconds ago when you were talking about it. So I went and looked it up. Now, not that Wikipedia is credible at all. I was just, it's there, you know.
It's on Wikipedia. It has to be.
We haven't seen it. That's true. It's, you know, that is true. The cameras pretty much followed Kurt Angle pretty much all night long, which was somewhat interesting, but I was still a little bit weirded out by it. I was like, I mean, I get it. Like, he's retiring and whatnot, but I mean, you know, they probably followed that man to the bathroom and stuff, and I was like, you don't have to do that to him, you know. He's a star and all, but you ain't gotta, you know, let the man pee in privacy. I'm just saying. But you know, they was pretty much just throughout the night they would show some things with Kurt Angle. Then we would get a vignette for Raquel. I think is how you pronounce it. She's gonna, you know, she's gonna, you know, correct me, and I'll be fine with that. And the camera shots that were used in this vignette, we need some more of those camera shots. Anyway, I love the use of Christy in the crowd. I just think that's just a really cool thing they've done recently. It's different. She's kind of not in the ring, just chilling out in the ring, you know, kind of getting the crowd involved. It makes, you know, the crowd might not really be excited to be there, but at least it makes the crowd look like they're excited to be there, which is always nice, especially from the outside looking in. Before we get to the bashing of the beers, any thoughts on Raquel? Oh baby. Any thoughts on her? Any thoughts on Kurt Angle and the cameras that follow him wherever he goes? They're probably in his house right now, wherever he goes, watching that man sleep. And then Christy in the crowd.
I mean, I love you, Kurt. I met you one time at a TNA show. You're a cool guy. You're taller than I thought. I met you twice, actually. I have to. But Raquel, girl, I ain't even seen your face yet.
Wait, you haven't seen her face yet?
Did they
go look on certain Facebook pages and you will see. I mean, unless you want to just be surprised, but there was a picture posted in the Wrestle Talk Media Facebook page that I just happened to come across, and I was like, okay.
I saw camera shots and the ladder, and I always like ladder matches, but there's something about a ladder match now that I just.
Okay. All right. Any thoughts on Christy in the crowd, real quick? Do you like that? Do you not like that? Just to get your mind back on, business.
I mean, getting my mind on Christy isn't much better. I mean, girl, I would love to be in that crowd with you.
But she's not being very professional right now, Casey.
I'm sorry.
That was great. That was I loved it.
My bad. I think it's cool. It makes it feel like more of a personal show, like wrestling used to be. If you watch, wrestling shows in the 80s, 90s, early 90s, there was just like a metal barricade, and Edge and Christian used to go through the crowd, and a bunch of other wrestlers used to go in the crowd, and there would be matches in the crowd and things like that. It's bringing a little bit of that back where, the wrestlers are going out into the people. It's not just there's not this what?
The Shield. Roman Reigns. The Shield.
I mean, but who wants to be near Roman Reigns? I mean,
everyone. You see him, people be dapping him up, they feel cool because they get to dap up Roman Reigns. Or pound it, not even dapping.
But I think it's cool. It could get a little bit creepy because I'm sure there's been a bunch of guys that tried to, I'm just saying, and I'm sure some of the girls tried to do stuff with. I'm not even.
Alrighty, as we
booty touching. That's all I'm saying. There was some booty touching. I know it.
Like New Day booty or.
No, not the lucha booties. Not the
lucha booty. The lucha booty. All right. Well, as we continue, we get a beer bash, fellas. And there's only one other. Anyway, we get a beer bash. Anyway, we do. And they are drunk and ready, they say. This kind of turned into an apologizing affair. They made some toasts. Not toast. Not like the bread. But toast with the liquid.
No toast. Was it jam or was it butter? Like what?
I was looking for the French toast actually. They said we're gonna make some toast. I was like, French toast? Because French toast, then French toast sticks, Anyway, then they went to do the beer money thing, and the beer bottle turned over, and all that beer just on the mat, And shout out to TNA for not even trying to play it off, Just no chill with that. And then EY comes out, and he is sick. He didn't say look into his eyes, but he wanted to. He was like, I'll wait till next week. And EY says, there's something that you have that I want. Anytime I can be Mahabali Shera and EY, I'm gonna do it. He says there is something that Bobby Roode has that he wants, and is the King of the Mountain title, and he wants it now in his eyes. No, he doesn't want it in his eyes, but you get it. You get what I mean. I thought this was kind of cool. At first, I was like, why would he want the King of the Mountain title? It hasn't even been a thing yet.
Title, damn it.
I was just trying to figure that out, but then I was like, they are trying to, I guess, build this as a major/minor title, kind of like the I don't know about the interpromotional thing, so I try to keep that out of it as much as possible. But they are trying to just have another title so they have something to do with other people while they're there. and to make EY say, hey, I want this title, I still want the world title, but there's still some bad blood between us. This title's still important to me. I think it does bring a little bit of importance to the title. And then we got a match between EY versus Bobby Roode for the King of the Mountain title. Um, you know, I feel like this way with these guys all the time, especially once their matches get going, they become really, really great. And I'm kind of glad that we got this because I was hoping for this with the world title, but at least there's some sort of, title that's kind of surrounding this feud now. I don't know if this is going to continue, considering I guess they're trying to make tag teams out of Bram and EY and Beer Money. So I don't know if it's going to continue, but it was a really good match. I love the way these guys, they work together. Obviously, they have the chemistry that they work together so much. Bram would come in and save the day, pulling the ref out of the ring. Beer Money would then take out Bram. We would get a low blow to Rude, and then a pile driver by EY for the win. EY is your new King of the Mountain television, internet, web-based interpromotional champion. Casey, any thoughts on your new King of the Mountain champion or the beer bash? I mean, were you there? Like, were you like under the ring handing the beers out, or what was going on there?
First of all, I would like to tell the people out in Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast land that DJ lied to me. There's nothing about Raquel on Wrestle Talk Media. Nothing. I looked. I've been looking, and I see nothing. So unless he sends me proof, there's nothing. He lies. But anyway, no, I wasn't technically at the beer bash. I had a beer, and I was bashing, but I wasn't at the beer bash. I was confused as to what the point of a beer bash was. I was like, okay, is this where we just apologize for things and get drunk? Because I feel like that's not something that I want to watch. That's something that, you and your friends do when you have a few too many and emotions come out and, it gets weird. It gets weird. It's not something I want to see on TNA. But, I have mixed emotions about Beer Money coming back. I like that Beer Money's back, and I hope that can kind of help rebuild TNA's tag team division with tag team titles. But at the same time, I'm upset that James Storm is apparently no longer in the WWE after his 2 matches. And I was excited because I mean, it was probably Samoa Joe did some, he said something that offended him. And, because that's Samoa Joe. He's just a jerk. I tell you. But I liked the match. I think EY and Rude always put on really good matches. And that goes to just the fact that they've known each other for so long. I mean, they're 2 TNA originals. So, they've been wrestling together for, I don't even remember how many years TNA has been out. But, I mean, like Josh Matthews said, because he has a list of things that TNA writes down, and so he knows, because he doesn't really know anything about TNA. Let's be honest. He knows nothing. But like he said, they were originally in Team Canada together. So there's a history there. And I feel like if wrestling companies like TNA, WWE are going to kind of use their old, not old, but their veterans to kind of help their company, they need to put guys like this together that know each other really well and can put on good matches. I would definitely like to see a feud between these 2 teams. I think that would be really cool. And then, like I said, build up more tag teams so we can have a good tag team division and have good feuds like they used to have, back when Beer Money was, one of the big tag teams on TNA, when they had Beer Money when they had Motor City Machine Guns, tons of other tag teams. You know, they just need to build that up again. Or James Storm needs to go back to WWE. Because I was happy. And then it broke my heart.
Well, all right then. After, I mean, you might.
Understand that he broke my heart. Do you get it? Do you understand?
I mean, you might have should have went to the beer bash so you could have, you know, that's what it was for, so you could get iron all this out.
I mean, I didn't have money for a ticket, and they wouldn't give me access. I was like, I tried to tell them I was with the beer bash guys. I tried to, you know, I brought a 6-pack. They took my 6-pack, and they still didn't let me in.
Huh. Well, you know, sometimes, you know, that's what happens, you know. But, you know, we got Mr. Anderson, and he has a new talk show. He does, with Matt Hardy, and he has no idea what it was named, he said, I think. Or he might have said, I can't remember off the top of my head. I just remember not remembering a name. And he did he say when he first, like, during the little, okay, I didn't catch it until later. But then we would get Maria and Mike Bennett, you know, talking to EC3. EC3 blowing off Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett, you know, saying he's not a young boy, so you can't, you know, you can't blow off Mike Bennett, the Miracle. And obviously EC3 does not care because he's the champ. Darn it, he's the champ. He's the champ. He's the champ. He's the champ. Okay, I just want to let y'all know, just in case y'all forgot, he's the champ. Back there. Oh, it's on the other side. Darn it. Okay, that it's true statement. It's a true statement. And then we would get Anderson's new talk show with Rebby, and Matt Hardy and little Matt, little Matt. I love seeing little Matt. Little Matt's adorbs. What are we looking at here?
That is freaking Raquel.
Is it?
I hated her so much.
Who is it?
It's.
I know she's from Tough Enough. I know that.
What's her name? I forgot. Gabby. Hated her.
Oh. I don't know how I didn't notice it. I'm usually pretty good at noticing that these people are who these people are. Oh man. But anyway.
Gigi. At least it's not Gigi. We're good.
What? Gigi was terrific. Get the heck out, man. Come on. You're so bad. Gigi's great. Anyway, any thoughts on Lil Matt? Lil Matt. He's so adorable. Lil Matt or Mr. Anderson in his talk show. Mike Bennett and EC3. Anything about that? And what is up with Rebby looking at people like they did something to her every time she leaves a room? I just don't get it. Could you stop looking at pictures of Gabby and answer and review the show, sir?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't notice that, and then she was mad at something that had something that he did, but I don't know. No, it was Gabby, the one that I hated, because she was the Brazilian one that annoyed me. Anyway, back to the show. I did notice that Rebby was kind of. I know she's wrestled for other promotions. I can't remember if she's wrestled for TNA in the past, but I don't know if they're gonna start a storyline with her involved, or whatever in the history, whatever. Because I know Anderson kind of brought up some stuff. So I don't know if they're going to go on something with that, and kind of use that, Rebby being mad, because later on in the show, she did kind of pull Matt away from Jeff, saying, I need to talk to you. So I hope they do something with that, with them. I'm just worried, how are they going to keep up? How would they keep up a storyline with, such a young son, it's hard enough to travel on your own when you have to travel with your kids, but I would love to see them actually do a storyline with that. I usually don't like, family-based storylines, but I'll give this one a try because that kid is freaking adorable, and you could do anything with him, and I don't care. WWE could re-sign Matt Hardy, and they could have their 20-minute opening segments as long as he's there. And he has his dad's little mini ring gear on because that was adorable. They need to do that again.
Also, real quick, while we're talking about certain people and certain things and certain news that we just got away from, I had heard there's a report that I think is actually true that Manic got released, which makes me very sad.
I'm going to look that up.
Because it makes me very sad because, number one, he's really good. Number two, like the man, you put him in a horrible character. Like, and he's shown you that he'll do whatever it takes, just to get a chance. I just don't understand why, if they did, I'm not sure. I guess Casey's gonna confirm it for us. I don't understand why, if it's true, why he's gone. It doesn't make any sense. He's not on the.
If you wait a minute,
from he's not on the active roster page anymore.
Let's see.
I just don't understand. I don't get it. Why would you get rid of him? I mean, I know they weren't doing the greatest job of using him till the Revolution thing started, and that wasn't great either. But
and then they, took away the mask and then put it back on and didn't explain anything.
That's what it was. They couldn't explain it, so they had to get rid of him.
They're like, we don't know how to fix this, so bye. On his Wikipedia's page, it does say 2/2016. Let me see.
As you're looking, I'm gonna continue to Drew Galloway talking to Kurt Angle. This is a pretty cool, or talking Kurt Angle, not talking to Kurt Angle. He was with Christie, getting the fans involved again a little bit. Kind of story time with Drew again, which was pretty cool. Next we would get Eli Drake, Jesse Goddard, and DJZ going up against the Wolves and Tigre Uno. This was a cool match with a nice little contrast of styles. Nice little ankle lock inverted figure four combo by Davey Richards. The lifting round kick by the Wolves obviously was a staple of this match. Goddard would lock in the Adonis Crab as Uno would take his dive to the outside. But Goddard would end up getting hit with a super kick by DJZ. Super kick, suplex combo by the Wolves for the win on Jesse Goddard's. So the Wolves and Tigre Uno do get the win in this match. I like the match. Any thoughts on this match or Manic or anything?
All it says is on January 12th, 2016, Perkins stated that TNA had given him notice that his contract was not being renewed. So, I don't know. But anyway, about this match, I've decided that DJZ is TNA's Alicia Fox because they don't know what they're doing with him. I thought a couple weeks ago he was a face. Now he's a heel.
No, technically he didn't change. Wait, but technically he didn't change anything tonight. He was just teaming with the heels.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
And plus, he super kicked Jesse Goddard, so he's obviously not a heel.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to super kick Jesse Goddard. That doesn't make you not a heel. I mean, Jesse Gotter's mom wants to super kick him in the face because his reflection wants to super kick him in the face. But anyway, I thought it was a good match. It was good to see, Tigre Uno and the Wolves kind of teaming together, the champions team, I guess. I didn't feel like there was any like stipulation though, like any advance in the storyline though, which was weird. It seemed like just a random match that they threw together, which isn't a bad thing. That's something that we said. If they're not doing anything with storylines, at least they can just throw some good matches on, which is cool because this was a good match. But it just, again, the fact that they've changed to a different network, they got to start building up more storylines and surprises and things that kind of make you want to continue watching the product, or again change to another, because that's the thing with TNA. They've changed networks so many times recently in the recent past that they have to keep up their product to kind of keep people still wanting to watch it, and having to people like DJ who don't have pop, they have to give him a reason to want to watch the show, give him good storylines, give him Raquel, and then end up being somebody that I hate. But it's cool because she's still
I didn't hate Raquel at all. I'm be real with you. I mean, she was growing on me a little bit. I thought she was growing on me there at the end.
I think I hate her enough for both of us. So, she was so annoying. She was a bitch.
She was bad. But apparently, just because the one and only thing just happened, apparently they revisited the Tigre Uno, Gregory Helms or Shane Helms. I don't know what we call him now. Shane Helms, little thing that they had. Apparently Shane Helms came out and shook his hand or something again, or did something. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know. I just heard something about it. So maybe they'll continue with that at some point on TNA television that we actually see. But next we would get a Hardy to Hardy talk. Get it? Heart to heart, Hardy to Hardy, Hardy to Hardy. It was good. It was good. And an offer that can't be refused. And then Rebby says she has some talking to do, which I thought was weird because when we got to the EC3 Matt Hardy segment, I didn't see Rebby. I didn't hear Rebby. He didn't even say, Rebby told me. No, so what'd she say? What'd she say? Did she say that Lil Maxwell needed a diaper change or something? Because, if it was that, they didn't necessarily have to tell us. But, what'd she say? They left that, like, on a cliffhanger, and now she just hanging from the cliff, and you got to go save her, Matt. You got to go save her. You can't be leaving her out there like that. And then EC3, wanting to hear the offer that cannot be refused. Matt said he had to climb the ladder to get where he wanted to get it, climb the ladder. He's like a ladder guy. That's where he made his name, was in a ladder match. Get it? He had to climb the ladder to get where he needed to get it. See, I thought it was pretty good. And then he says he will leave forever if he loses. And then EC3 says, I want to do this my way on my terms. And he pronounces that there will be a last man standing match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship next week. One thing I do like about this being a last man standing match is it dwindles down the predictability factor. Because with the reports that we've been hearing that Matt Hardy could go to WWE in the near future, if this would have been just a normal match, it would have kind of felt like Matt was going to lose because, EC3 still undefeated, and I don't think they're giving that. If they weren't going to give the streak up for Matt Hardy before, why would they give it up to him now? Then they changed to a last man standing match, which is kind of good because technically, even if EC3 loses, he's still technically never been pinned, never submitted, which is kind of what he's been going with. So it brings a little intrigue to it. You kind of don't know who could win this match. With reports that Matt and Jeff could go back to WWE, it's kind of one of those things where it's kind of up in the air who could win this match. But any thoughts on Hardy to Hardy? That talk, What did Rebby say? Did she tell you? Did she let you know what she said? And you were supposed to, inside source your way, into the podcast, or any thoughts on EC3?
She and I talked. We had a little of a Hardy to Hardy, even though I'm not Hardy. We had a little bit of a talk, but I can't say anything. I was sworn to secrecy. I'm sorry. But
sounds like they didn't talk.
We talked. We had words. Okay, we had words. Anyway, I did tell her that I thought it was rude that she just tore Matt away from Jeff. I mean, they were in the middle of a conversation, and you can't just do that. You can't. You need to say, hey, can I borrow my husband for a minute? It's just as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. But as for the offer that cannot be refused, that wasn't refused because it was accepted. I don't know. I feel like it does kind of.
Huh. So Casey went away. Oh, there he is. He's back. That was quick, man. That was much quicker than I could have ever done that. Like my computer would have restarted, and then I would have had to look at the little frowny face that it gives me, and then I would have had to wait for it to load again. I'm just wasting time until he loads back up. I would have had to wait for it to load again. Then I gotta put in my password. What if I forget my password? Then I gotta go to the reset mechanics. Oh, he's gone again, and now I don't know if I can waste that much time. Let's see here. Let's see here then. Next up, we got the main event: Drew Galloway versus Kurt Angle. We'll jump into it here in a second. As soon as Casey, finishes his thoughts on, Matt Hardy and EC3. You know, apparently Mike Bennett debuted at One Night Only, which was pretty cool. I gotta go watch that show. They had a one. I think it was a lot. It was actually a live one night only, which is different from the typical format. Usually they go with a more of a taped approach, like they do with most of their stuff. And it kind of gets outdated too, because you see some people who you don't even see on TV. So I don't really know. I don't really know what the plan is. Casey just informed me that he is trying to come back in. Let's just kind of review the show so far while we're waiting on him. Match-wise, we got Shimron, the Master of Motion, and Jeff Hardy. I do remember. I just remember Shimron, kind of just cracking me up in this one. I'm wondering if they're going to use him more, more than anything, because we've seen some guys like kind of come in for TNA and not really get used a ton. So I wonder if they're gonna try to use him a little more, or if they're not, or if he's kind of gonna be like a one-hit wonder just to face Jeff Hardy for that one night. Yeah, street fight between the Dollhouse and the Beautiful People. That was cool. It was just a little cool little street fight. Getting to see these people use the weapons. Oh, he's back. Okay, I can, quit trying to make stuff up. See, it was weird because I thought you were back earlier than you were, so I started talking about my computer restarting. Then you left again, and I was like, okay, I can't do this story for that long. Next time this happens, I'm just gonna come up with some kind of random story, or some kind of random joke or something, and I'm just gonna go with it and hope you come back soon. Continue your thoughts on EC3 and
it was thoughts on Matt Hardy, sir. I think this is a little bit of a more predictable match because all the reports are saying that, the Hardys are, trying or want to go back to WWE, and I've heard some reports that WWE's trying to work with them maybe when their contracts run out. I don't know. But I mean, I feel like either way, the Hardys are probably going to leave TNA after their contracts run out. They've already done pretty much everything in TNA that they can do. Except I don't think, were they the tag team champions?
Yeah, they were, because
yeah.
Jeff got hurt.
They were the tag team champions. Both of them technically have been World Heavyweight Champion.
Matt doesn't count. It was rigged.
Matt, it still counts. But I mean, first of all, it's a last man standing match, and I love you, Matt, but with your knees, you could barely stand to begin with. So I mean, it's almost unfair. It's almost unfair. I'm sorry, but I feel like the way they're booking EC3, I don't think Matt's gonna beat him. Or win the match. I just don't think it's. I don't know.
I'll tell you why, Casey. Because he's the champ, doing it.
That's not the right title.
It is. All you gotta do is put TNA on front of it. It's fine. All right. Are we ready to continue?
We are.
All right. So I'm gonna give you this match because I feel bad because I haven't given you a match and I forgot. Anyway, Kurt Angle versus Drew Galloway, the main event of the evening. Can you handle this?
I might be able to. This was a good match. They built it up as the, it kind of made me feel old, and it made Kurt Angle seem old when early in the night when Drew Galloway was saying that, when he was in school, and first wanting to become a wrestler, he looked up to Kurt Angle, and I was like, wow, Kurt Angle's been in professional wrestling a long time. Just thinking, because I remember his debut in WWE when he first came into professional wrestling, and I was like, wow. But it was just kind of one of those, facing one of your idols sort of a match kind of a thing. And I felt like it was a really good match. I think, it wasn't just a one-sided match. There were times when, either one of them could have won, and I think they put on a really good show. Obviously, Kurt Angle won. I don't know how I would have felt if Kurt Angle didn't win on his, farewell tour, match, I guess. And it just, it almost felt like, I felt like multiple parts of the show felt like passing of the torch, with Kurt Angle sort of passing the torch on to Drew Galloway. And then I almost feel like, in a way, the Hardys, both being kind of top stars, in a way, are sort of passing the torch to EC3 in a way, a little bit. I mean, if Brodus Clay really wants the title, he can get a chance. But anyway. So yeah, I felt like it was a sort of a passing of the torch, because obviously TNA is booking both of these guys as their next, their future of the company, which WWE could take notes. You can have multiple faces future of the company. It doesn't have to just be John Cena. And nobody can make me like John Cena. The extra guys tried. They tried to point out the
Right.
good
points. So I had something to
Nobody.
say. And now that you got on the city rant, I don't even know what I even had to say anymore.
But no, it was a really good match. I'm wondering what's next. Who Angle's next opponent's going to be on his farewell tour. If there's going to be another match, I hope. But I hope you get that thought back because I'm curious now.
I definitely forgot it. Man,
It's all Cena's fault.
No, it's your fault for ranting on Cena all the time. Anyway, I definitely like this match. I thought it was really good. These guys, Kurt Angle still can go. For a guy who's getting up there, I guess you could say. It's crazy. Like it feels like it was like just yesterday when he debuted. Which is weird to think about because it wasn't yesterday. Close, but it wasn't yesterday.
It was like last week.
Technically. But the belly to belly into the guardrail by Angle, I really like that. Galloway catching him with the Clayborg, like while Angle was on the run, looked really nice. The kind of, what was it? It was like it wasn't a slam. He kind of like just took him by his head and threw him on the mat from the top turnbuckle from the Trio O. Did Galloway, and I was like, ow. He's gonna have a broken freaking neck, Galloway. But he'll still win because broken freaking neck. Anyway, the Angle slam from top turnbuckle to end up winning by Angle. It was weird because Galloway flew so far that he was right next to the rope, so I expected him to grab the rope as like a false finish there, but it didn't happen. But this match was really good. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with the rest of his his farewell tour. His farewell tour. He probably won't get to see the champ. He probably won't get to wrestle with the best here. Your boy. But it's unfortunate. That we won't get a chance to jump inside the squared circle.
It was pre-recorded, so he and I are the tag team champions.
How many people are you gonna hold the tag team champions with? Is my question.
Everybody.
Like, do you get a partner and then you fire that partner?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes. If they don't work well, if they don't hold up their end of the bargain and do everything, you gotta let them go.
Do everything, so you do nothing. Anyway,
my job is to hold up the ring post. That's my job. It's
kind of like I carry the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, similar to how I carry this belt. Anyway, if you haven't already,
I fired you as my first tag team partner.
You can't fire the real champ. It's just how it is. You can't fire. You can't kill what won't die. I learned that from Undertaker. So it works in this situation, I think. Anyway, if you haven't already, just real quick, just press the subscribe button. Just real click. It's just one click, 3 clicks, 5 clicks, 7 clicks. How many clicks you want to, as long as it's an odd number, you're good. All right. So if you want to, feel free to comment on the video if you got any thoughts on TNA or thoughts on me being your new. Actually, I'm the reigning defending WWE World.
One half of the tag team champions.
Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video if you'd like. If you didn't like the video, share the video because maybe there's somebody you hate will be like, oh man, I love this stuff. Maybe I don't know. Maybe. And you always get your fair share of my screen's not big enough for my head and this belt. But we will see you guys later.
On the flippity dippity.
No. We'll see you guys later. That's all I got for you guys. This was TNA, the review from January the 12th, 2016. I did put 15 in the title, and then I changed it because I just can't get away from 2015. I don't know what it is. So we'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.